Hey everyone, Robert here. It's April 25th, 2020. It's 2 days after the press briefing heard round the world, or supposedly, where Donald Trump suggested to the American population that to protect itself from the coronavirus, that we inject ourselves with disinfectant. Now, this is a Google search results ranking, and I'm on page 2. If we go back to page 1, we can see the talking heads of the various media outlets and bloggers, if you get further into the search results, basically stating the same thing. And all of these video clips are going to be little snippets of what's going to be there specifically for the commentary. But for me, I don't trust any of the talking heads, even our politicians, and I prefer to go to the raw video sample. So if you go to C-SPAN's site, which has no commentary on their video coverage, they just have the raw video, you will be able to see an unveiling of what was actually said. Spoiler alert, the president did not, I said did not, suggest to the American population that to save themselves from COVID-19 that they inject themselves with Lysol or some other disinfectant or bleach or anything like that. C-SPAN offers the ability for each video to be searched via transcription, and the first instance of disinfectant was spoken by William Bryant. Now I'm going to play his segment, pause it before Trump comes into play with my commentary, but you're going to see the whole thing, and I'll link to this as well as other resources in the description. So let's take a listen.
And while that comes up, you'll see a number of some practical applications. For example, increasing the temperature and humidity of potentially contaminated indoor spaces appears to reduce the stability of the virus. And extra care may be warranted for dry environments that do not have exposure to solar light. We're also testing disinfectants, readily available. We've tested bleach, we've tested isopropyl alcohol on the virus, specifically in saliva or in respiratory fluids. And I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds, and that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, just spraying it on and leaving it go. You rub it and it goes away even faster. We're also looking at other disinfectants, specifically looking at the COVID-19 virus in saliva.
Okay, so William Bryant gives a very clear-cut explanation as to what needs to be done and what is being done, but he really emphasizes the disinfectant portion of this. Now, with most people listening to this, just as I did whenever I first heard it, the isopropyl alcohol really stood out for me. I mean, 30 seconds or less, yeah, that is going to stick in my brain. Folks, I'm a nobody. From the grand scheme of things, I'm a nobody. But this thing is going to stick in my brain, as it did our president's. Now, he gave us this whole thing, so let's go ahead and take a look at the context of this. You understand the context, and I will go back and play this again, and I will let the whole thing play, which will lead into President Trump's statements that seem to be the soundbite for which everyone is gravitating to. So I'm going to play this person again. I'm not going to talk. We're going to go ahead and play the whole thing leading into the president's statement.
And while that comes up, you'll see a number of some practical applications. For example, increasing the temperature and humidity of potentially contaminated indoor spaces appears to reduce the stability of the virus. And extra care may be warranted for dry environments that do not have exposure to solar light. We're also testing disinfectants, readily available. We've tested bleach, we've tested isopropyl alcohol on the virus, specifically in saliva or in respiratory fluids. And I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds, and that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, just spraying it on and leaving it go. You rub it and it goes away even faster. We're also looking at other disinfectants, specifically looking at the COVID-19 virus in saliva. Okay. This is not the end of our work as we continue to characterize this virus and integrate our findings into practical applications to mitigate exposure and transmission. I would like to thank the President, thank the Vice President for their ongoing support and leadership to the Department and for their work in addressing this pandemic. I would also like to thank the scientists, not only in S&T and the NBAC, but to the larger scientific and R&D community. Thank you very much.
Brian. Mr. Brian.
Thank you very much.
So here comes the president.
Bill, a question that probably some of you are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful. Steve, please.
You say that the country will be in a better place.
Okay, so you heard it from the introduction of the idea of the isopropyl alcohol and bleach as by William there before Trump came onto the scene. You heard him gravitate towards what I and other people have gravitated to with regard to his press thing. The president never said to do this. He was giving a hypothetical. He was wondering, well, if this works here, could we do it there? He was doing everything that we were thinking about. Well, could this be used? He wasn't suggesting anything. Nothing at all. And folks, I'm just going to go ahead and be open about this. I am not the smartest dude on the planet, but I knew where to go to find the information, bypassing the talking heads, bypassing the editorials, and getting to the crux of the information, the raw video footage, being able to search that, being able to put it in context, and listening to it for myself. I was able to determine within 5 minutes, shorter time than this video, that the president never ever said to inject yourself with isopropyl alcohol, ultraviolet light, or bleach, or any variation of these things. He was speculating. He was giving a hypothetical. Now, in the description, I'm going to have a link to this video so you can look at it for yourself. And folks, don't be like the other millions and millions of people who are doing this. Don't listen to me. Check out the sources. Look for yourself. I'm gonna put the link to this video in the description, as well as C-SPAN. C-SPAN is a spot where you can check all the videos of all the political stuff that's going on throughout the country and around the world. This is raw footage, no commentary, maybe just an announcement at the beginning, but this is the place to go. And I'm also going to go ahead and inject a link to congress.gov that will allow you to look at the laws that are in the land right now. You will be able to read the laws, see where they are, and not depend on third-party information, so you can make a better informed decision. Because this stuff, although it's tedious and boring and dull, it affects our lives. And if this stuff is affecting our lives financially, religiously, all of this stuff, we need to be on top of it, especially now. And that's my 2 cents. But the president did not say to inject yourself with bleach. Good grief.